Last upload was 3 days ago. Oh, Abigail.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Buddy Fight video. As you see right here, I've got the Darkness Dragonwheel flag. Finally bringing you guys the Darkness Dragonwheel deck review that you guys have asked for. Wow, the comments from you guys, the likes, like just everything recently has been amazing. And again, thank you guys so much for 800 subscribers. I've been a little bit inactive because of personal reasons and doing stuff with family and stuff. But yeah guys, we're finally back. Really quickly, I want to know what you guys think of the lighting in the comments. There is like a lamp on my right, and I'm not doing this on the floor for once in my life, so it is going to be a little bit weird. But yeah, guys, let's get straight into the review. So as you see right here, I don't have any special flag. This is just from the trial deck, Darkness Dragonwheel flag right there. Have a look, and we've also got, as my buddy, Black Dragon Poet Strange, just because I had a lot of him, and I realized it would be easier. See, the problem is if I put my hand over there, there's a shadow, so I'll try not to do that. But it's a lot easier to hold the card if it's in a sleeve. But anyways, guys, let's get into the deck. So again, I do have Balle Soleil, Dragon Force, and a few Abigails. I do have a Buddy Rare Abigail, but because I only have two versions of him, I decided not to make him my buddy because it'd be too hard to draw, and I wanted him in the deck. Also, keep in mind that I do not have Abigail Last Death Violence, the Impact Monster, but I decided just to put in two Impact Monsters because why not? First, coming up, we got two copies of Abigail SD. I'm going to move my hand just so there isn't too much of a shadow right there. But basically, I'm going to just be explaining what the card does. You guys pause the video, have a look at the ability. But yeah, basically what this card does, it's only one gauge to call. It is, I guess you could say it's pricey for size 0. His stats may not be the greatest, but his effect is amazing. The fact you can draw a card and destroy a card in your opponent's field is pretty amazing, especially when you really need to draw a card in the right situation. So, two of him, and he can also, since he's size 0, you can use him with Balle Soleil. So we got two that was Black Abigail SD. Sorry, I forgot to read his name. We've got Black Windblade Devos. Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Two of him. Again, his stats aren't the highest, but his ability is really good. The fact that you can get any Black Dragon from your drop zone into your hand, even though you cannot use an Impact Monster, it's still a really good ability when you need it. It can be pretty useful. Moving on to the size 1s, we've got Black Dragon, Black Downpour, Zekron. The problem is, I don't think I have the right Black Dragons for this deck, but I tried my best, guys. So we got two of him. I'm just going to show one of him for the card effect so it's easier to read. Basically, it lowers the defense of a card in opponent's field, and of course, it gets your opponent's deck into the drop zone. So we've got two of him right there, as shown before. Then, I decided to put this card in because, in my opinion, it's a really good card. His stats may not be the best, but his Spectre Strike allows him to deal 4 damage, guys, if you meet the conditions. You can deal 4 damage, guys, by destroying a monster opponent's field, which is pretty good in my opinion, especially can be really useful in the right situations against cards like maybe that can't, like, let's say, Cold-Blooded King Mazira, 20,000 power. You can't take them out, but if they have less than 4 life, you could try and destroy another, if they have another monster, like maybe a size 0 Stained Blade Joker on their right or left, you could try and pop that and deal enough damage to your opponent to take out their life and win the game. So in my opinion, it's a card worth having in the deck. Then probably one of my favorite cards in this deck, we've got two of Jet Black Grim Reaper Gaito. Really cool, awesome looking Dungeon World, Darkness Dragon World dual card. Basically, you pay 1 life to call, so you don't have to use up any gauge, but again, it does take up 1 life to call him, but his ability is really good. Basically, you can meal your opponent's deck into the drop zone, and also gain gauge equal to the amount destroyed. Basically, you destroy a monster. If you guys pause the video, have a look at the ability. I'm sorry I covered up the card, but it's a really cool looking up a card with an epic ability of gaining gauge and mealing your opponent's deck, which is, of course, is really good ability in my opinion. He's pretty powerful, and he's only size 1. Moving on, we got Black Death Dragon Abigail, the original Abigail. Here, you guys know what this ability is. 1 gauge to call, discard a card from your hand. I believe you can use it more than once. Can someone confirm that in the comments below? I'm pretty sure you can because it doesn't say anything about that. But yeah, basically destroys a monster in your opponent's field. Again, mealing deck. There's a lot of cards in this deck that can destroy cards or monsters in your opponent's field. So yeah, we got 2 of him right there. So you have his 2 rare foils right there. Okay, I'm covering. Okay, I'm going to try not to put my right hand because I realize I'm messing this up and making this extremely cringe. So we got 2 of him right there. We got Black Penelope Abigail. Now, this card may not have the best stats or the best ability, but it is pretty decent. Basically, when he attacks or destroyed, you get 1 card from your opponent's deck into the drop zone. And also, if it has 10 or more cards in your opponent's drop zone, his attack can't be nullified, which can be useful in some situations. Again, since there's Darkness, Dragon World, Dragon Force in this deck, if you have him, you can release your Dragon Force. So, we only have 1 of him, unfortunately. Here we've got a rare and a buddy rare version of Awakened. I'm going to show the buddy rare version. I don't think you guys can read it though, but I'll just show it. Basically, you pay 1 gauge to call him, and when it enters the field, destroys a monster on your opponent's field, and top 2 cards in your opponent's deck drops them. So again, destroying monsters. Again, you need an Abigail on the field to release your Darkness Dragon World Force, so that's why I have so many. I might have too many, but I tried my best to balance the deck. So we've got basically 2 copies of Awakened Black Death Abigail in the deck. We've got my mistake. Okay, 3 Gloomy Black Dragon Snake Balsam. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the names or destroying their names. I'm going to show the non-foil version just because I believe it is easier to read. So basically, when it enters the field, you destroy a Black Dragon on your field. It can also be an item like Gale Fang, who I'll show earlier. So it's like a really nice combo with other cards that when they're destroyed, you gain an effect. And you also get a gauge, and you also get to draw cards. So we got 3 of him right there. The problem is I see with this deck is that I didn't really balance it out properly. I do have size 3s, 1s, 0s, and everything. So the one I just showed you, and this are the only size 2s in the deck. So we've got 4 Black Dragon Poet Destrange. It's a really good card. Again, I don't think I mentioned it before, but it was my buddy monster. It's a very good card. Basically, you can destroy a card in your opponent's field. If you destroy another Black Dragon, again, you can destroy items or set spells or whatever, as long as it has Black Dragon in its attribute and gain an effect. So you can do combo effects with that. And it's pretty good, the fact that you can destroy a card in your opponent's field. So we got 4 him. So basically 4 copies of the buddy monster. We've got Engraved Stigmata Dragon Stigmata, I believe it's pronounced. It's a size 3 monster, by the way. Sorry. Anyways, his stats, I see 9,000 power, pretty high, critical too, but basically I have him in for the effect, which in my opinion is really good. Or basically, I just felt like it would work well with the deck for some reason. But basically, it's really good. Enters the field, your opponent has 7 or more cards in his or her drop zone. Destroy a card in your opponent's field and put the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck into his or her drop zone. And when it attacks, if there are 10 or more cards in your opponent's drop zone for this turn, this card gets double attack. So you can use it if you need to destroy a card in your opponent's field and also deal a bit more damage. Or maybe take out a monster in your opponent's center with high defense. So in my opinion, it's a little bit worth. But yeah, we've got 2 of him right there. Just because I had a lot of size 0s, and I felt like to balance the deck, I needed size 3s. Let me catch my breath right here. We've got 2 Balle Soleil guys. So, definitely super happy about this pull. But yeah, guys, 2 Balle Soleils in the deck. We got the triple rare version and the buddy rare version right here. Basically, I wanted to, since he's a triple card, I'm like, why not throw him in the Darkness Dragon World deck? And his ability is also really helpful. What you couldn't do with this, since it's 2 gauge and put a monster in your field into the soul of this card, as his call cost, you can basically call an Abigail to your left or right. Let me show the buddy reversion as well. And then use then equip Dragon Force, and then you can call this card if you have enough gauge. Basically just doing a Darkness World Dragon Force and a Balle Soleil combo attack and deal some massive damage to your opponent while also milling their deck, and then maybe bring in some other cards. But yeah, guys, 2 Balle Soleils in there. Also can reduce damage, deal some extra damage, and destroy a monster in your opponent's center. Very useful for dealing that damage, especially if you need to get a lot of damage done to the fighter. Moving on, we've got Awakened Vanishing Death Hole. Now, this is the only impact... Whoops, took the item. This is the only impact monster in the deck. I will put more in the future, because, again, this isn't a tournament-style deck, and I do want to edit it more, but you guys really asked for it, so this is why I'm bringing it out. But yeah, we've got 2 Abigail Vanishing Death Hole. You guys should know what it does by now. For those who don't, basically... When it enters the field, 12 or more cards in your opponent's drop zone, gains critical +3, destroys all monsters, and its ability can't be nullified if it is attacking alone. So, it can deal a lot of damage, and is a very powerful Abigail impact monster. So I was like, why not throw it in? I do have some other ones, not many though. I believe I only have a limited death ray, which I believe wouldn't work well with this deck, and a fake Black Dragon Abigail from the Golden Buddy Champion box. So, we only have 2 copies of him. They're the only impact monsters in the deck. I will edit this deck in the future though. Anyways, moving on to the items, or to the accessories. I'm just going to call them items. We got Soul Sucking Blade Suktawan, I believe it's called. And basically its ability is, it's like, what's it called? An item basically that deals effect damage like, what was it? Jack's dual blasters? I forgot what they were called. But yeah, basically when a card from your opponent's deck is put into his or her drop zone by effect of your card, you get to deal 1 extra effect damage, which is pretty good. And its stats are pretty decent as well. So we got 2 of them right there. Moving on, we've got 3 Claws of Black Death Gale Fang right here. So I'll show you guys his ability, the ability of this item right here. It's pretty good. Its abilities can't be nullified, 1 gauge to equip, decent stats, 5,000 power, critical 2. And this card depends drop zone from the field, you gain 1 life, and you get to draw a card. So again, you can use it with the other card I showed earlier. So you can equip this card and then call that, I forgot what the name of the card was, but basically destroys this, you gain 2 gauge, and you get to draw 2 cards. Sorry, you gain a gauge, you gain a life, and you get to draw 2 cards. So that combo effect. So we got 3 of it right there. You can also use it with other ones like the size 3 Black Dragon I showed before. So, the final item in this deck is 2 triple rare Darkness, Dragon World, Dragon Forces. So I only have 2, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's enough to work with the deck. And the deck is small, so you are able to draw it. So we've got Darkness, Dragon World, Dragon Force. It's just called Dragon Force, by the way, for those who want to know. I'm going to see, hopefully you guys can see the effect. Basically, it's a pretty powerful card. When its attacks, or when its attack is nullified, top 3 cards your opponent's deck into their drop zone, and you gain a life. It doesn't penetrate, and it can't be touched at all once you equip it. But release condition needs to have 6 life or less, and have a monster with Abigail in its card name on your field. So if you do need to lose life, there are a few spells which I'm about to show you that can help you lose life. But I feel like I have too many spells in this deck, so that's why I said I still need to balance it. But yeah, we got 2 of those right there. Moving on to the spells. Now the spells I feel like are what really make this deck special, because I tried to incorporate different ones to make the deck work. We've got Black Bard, Balad. Again, I'm not claiming to be an expert deck builder, by the way. This was just, I tried my best to do what I could. I'm not saying I'm the best deck builder, okay? We got Black Bard, Balad. It's basically a good card. Pay 1 gauge, 1 life, destroy a monster opponent's field. Basically, you can destroy their monster and meal cards from their deck into his or her drop zone. So it's a pretty good card in my opinion, especially if you want to counter, like if they're attacking you and you have a Black Dragon and you're desperate to stop attacks, and of course if you want to meal cards and get them into their drop zone. So we only have 1 right there. We've got 2 Cage of Nightmares right here. For example, if you have a card in your drop zone that you need, basically its ability is when a Black Dragon on your field enters your opponent's field, you get a card from your opponent's deck into his or her drop zone. And if this card is, when this card is put from the drop zone from the field, put up to 1 Black Dragon monster from your drop zone into your hand. And as you see right there, in its attribute, it is classified as Black Dragon. So I have 2 of them in the deck, both of their rare versions, and you can use this ability to get, let's say you have Balle Soleil in your drop zone, because it's classified as a Black Dragon. If you destroy this card, you can add Balle Soleil to your hand, or whatever Black Dragon you want. So it's a pretty useful card in my opinion. Anyways, moving on, this card in my opinion is also a really good card. Purgatory Loophole. You can only cast this card if there's 6 more cards in your opponent's drop zone, pay 1 gauge, its cast cost, and search it up for up to 1 Black Dragon monster, put it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Now that does include impact monsters as well, so you can search up for, search your deck for a Vanishing Death Hole. It is monster, so you can't search for your Darkness, Dragon World, Dragon Force, but it is a really good card. And again, I'll show you guys later, we have more draw cards in the deck. So yeah guys, it's a really good card in my opinion. The fact you can search it for anything, especially if you have this card and Darkness, Dragon World, Dragon Force, and you want to release it, you can use this. You can use one of these to search up for Abigail, put it in your hand, and then release your Dragon Force. So we got 2 of those. Moving on, we have 4 enemy walls right here. Basically, a really good negate card. You only cast this card during attack on your opponent's turn, and you get to put the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck into the drop zone. If one of them is a monster, nullify the attack, and put the top card deck into your gauge. So basically, it can stop attacks, give you a gauge, and you can also use it as long as it's attacked. So you can have a monster in your center and still cast this card, which is really good. So we've got 4 right there. Moving on, we've got 2 Noble Sacrifices, and this card is maybe not the greatest, but in my opinion, it's pretty good, and it is probably one of the best Darkness Dragon World spells I have. So basically, its ability is pay 1 gauge, destroy Black Dragon monster in your field. If you do, gain 2 life, guys, and draw a card. So it can be really useful in some situations, so we got 2 of them right there. Again, we've got some more negate cards. We got 2 Black Dragon Shields right here. I don't know why, I just decided to throw it in. But it's a really good card, basically, if you be dealt damage. And if you do, basically you can only use it if you would be dealt damage, and if you don't have a monster in the center, the damage reduces to 0, and you gain 1 life. So you can use this with protecting yourself against impact monsters as well, like a Gecko did against, what was it, Balber Smasher. So we got 2 of those. Moving on to the spells, the final cards, we've got Sun in the Darkness. I really like this card, so I decided to throw it into the deck. It is a Dragon World / Darkness Dragon World dual card. Basically, its ability is, you can only cast this card if you have a card with Sun Dragon or Black Dragon, its attribute on your field. You get to draw a card, then your opponent has 8 or more cards in your drop zone, put the top card deck into your gauge. So you can get a draw card and you can get a gauge, which in my opinion is really good for the fact that there is no cast cost. So it is really cool, and of course I love the Bal artwork and the shine on it. Moving on to the final card in this deck, we've got Darkness Rune. Now, I honestly don't know, probably because I just had a ton of these cards. Two of them, I decided just to throw it in. But it is a pretty decent dual card spell, so let's have a look at its ability. It is a Legend World / Darkness Dragon World dual card called Darkness Rune. Its cast cost is only 1 life, but it has 3 different effects you can use. You can, and it's also counter as well, so you can use it during your opponent's turn, or during your turn, or during your final phase, to put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge. You can put a soul from a card on your opponent's field into your drop zone if you need to destroy a monster with Soul Guard, or you can destroy a size 1 or less monster in your opponent's field. So it can be used in many different ways, and in my opinion is a pretty good spell card, it's pretty flexible, especially for this deck. Especially if you need extra gauge to call like Balle Soleil or other monsters, or release your Dragon Force. So yeah guys, that's about it for this episode, for this deck review. Tell me guys what you think of the deck in the description below. I know it's not perfect, it's not like a championship deck, but in my opinion, it's pretty decent, and I did my best. So tell me guys in the comments below. If you don't like it, tell me. If you liked it, if you enjoyed, definitely subscribe, leave a like, and share with all your Buddy Fight friends. Tell me in the comments below guys what you think. Again, I'm repeating myself. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later in the next Buddy Fight video. Peace.